Hello and welcome back to Money School. Things you've always wanted to know about money, but didn't know who or where to ask. Welcome here to the Mach 1 Money School. All right, folks, so we've been through 3 lessons already. If you haven't watched those, I highly encourage you to go back and do that. Basics of budgeting. The reason it's the first lesson, it is the most important lesson, and everything else builds off of it. If you've not watched that one, you can learn some stuff from these rest of these lessons, but it will not work for you unless you do a budget. So go back and watch lesson 1. And then lesson 2, all about debt, some statistics on debt, how to get out of debt, and really how to stay out of debt. So you definitely want to see that one. And then our lesson from last week was savings. Why do you need to save? What's the difference between saving and investing? Very important lesson. And so today we're talking about bank accounts. Most of you probably already have a bank account. If you do, then you probably skip this lesson. If you haven't opened a bank account, well, this will be a really good lesson for you to listen to. All right, let's jump right in. Here we go. Bank accounts. How do you get a bank account open in the United States? Well, did you realize about 7 million, that's right, 7 million Americans don't have bank accounts? I mean, no checking account, no savings account, nothing to do with the bank. Over 7 million Americans. That's kind of shocking. So why in the world would you need a bank account? Those 7 million that don't have a bank account, why? I'm okay without it. I've been doing cash. I'm all right. Well, there's several good reasons. One, here this number says is 8.4 million Americans don't. So between 7 and 8 million Americans don't have a bank account. Most people do, but there are some that don't. Well, if you don't have a bank account, and you get a job and they require direct deposit, where are they going to send your check? You might not get hired if you don't have that bank account. So you need to get a bank account. Most people in America have received a stimulus check here recently. Well, if you had a bank account, they knew where to send it. Otherwise, they may just send you a check, could be delayed. When you do your taxes, tax refunds, they can direct deposit those and you get the money quicker if you get a refund. Lots of reasons why you need a bank account. It also makes it real easy for you to transfer money. You can do it from a checking account to a savings account. You can shop online using a debit card. You can make payments with Venmo or PayPal and not pay any of those fees. Okay? So there's lots of good reasons to have bank accounts. Okay? And the one that's most advantageous, imagine if you didn't have a bank account, how would you do stuff? If you needed a loan, where would you go? The banks don't know you. You end up going to these payday loan places. Or if you want to cash your payroll check, you go to a check cashing place and they charge you 25% to do so. So if you have a checking account or a bank account with a bank, you eliminate all of that. Payday loans can be as high as 300% and 400%. Check cashing places, they charge you a percentage of what your check is just to cash your check. You do that for free at a bank. So get a bank account and avoid all those nuisance fees is what I'll call. All right. Okay, Mike, I get it. I need a bank account. So how do I do that? Pretty simple. First of all, you got to know what you're looking for. All right. When you want to do some research, if you're good online, you can do this all online or you can make some phone calls. You want to find a bank or a credit union that has, number one, no monthly fees. No fees for checking, no fees for savings, no fees on your debit card, 0 fees, okay? No minimum balance. You don't want to have to keep $1,000 tied up just so they don't charge you fees. Lots of banks out there don't do that. Credit union as well. So if they're charging you fees or requiring a minimum balance, look elsewhere. You want to make sure you got a large ATM network. And if they don't have a large ATM network, they don't charge you fees or they reimburse you for ATM fees, okay? Get the theme here? No fees, low fees, no fees, okay? If you got a mobile app, you check on what's going on with your account using your phone. That's important. Again, no transaction fees, no fees. You can do this. And if they offer free overdraft protection, do that. We don't want to be in an overdraft situation, but if it happens, you want to be protected where they don't charge you a $35 fee for a $2 overdraft, okay? and you want to be sure that they are FDIC, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, or National Credit Union Association insurance. That means if something happens, the bank gets robbed, your assets are protected up to $250,000. If you have more than that, you go to 2 different banks, 2 different credit unions. Okay. Now you know what to look for when you go to open an account. All right, now you've done your research. Now you're ready to go to that institution. You're ready to open an account. How do you do that? Well, first thing you got to do, you got to take some things with you. One, you got to take an ID. You got to have a government ID, your driver's license, government ID, passport, something that says this is who you are. Number one. Number two, you got to take your Social Security number. They probably want to see your Social Security card. Okay, so they got to know who you are. Then you got date of birth. Well, that's going to be in your driver's license or your government ID. And mailing address. You got to have an address because they got to know where to send your statements. Okay. And then probably most importantly, you got to bring the deposit. They're going to want you to open it with some money, probably $25 to $100. Okay. A minimum deposit. You just got to have that. And that may be the minimum they require you to keep in there. All right. Just know that's kind of universal. You got to have something. Now, if they do like $1,000 or $5,000, you want to go someplace else. We talked about that already. All right, so I got my ID, I got my Social Security card, I know my date of birth, I got a mailing address, and I got $100 to take with me. I'm ready to open an account. Good deal, here we go. What accounts do you need? Well, you probably need a checking account. So you can write checks or use your debit card to pay bills and things like that. That's what your checking account's for. And then you definitely want a savings account. We talked about that in the last lesson, savings. So you have your check deposited into your checking account, pay your bills out of there, but at the same time, you can have it automatically say, take X amount of money every pay period and put into my savings account. That would be a great thing for you to do, okay? Build your emergency fund is a place to hold sinking funds, things you're buying that you're saving up to buy for. Great place for that, okay? So this is kind of a short lesson this week, but the summary for opening a bank account, everybody needs a bank account. You need to be part of that 93% that has some type of bank account. We recommend savings and checking, okay? Do your homework first. Know what that bank charges. Know the fine print. Ask questions. Make sure there's no minimums on how many times you have to use your debit card. No minimums on how much you have to have in there. Know the details before you go there. I really like credit unions. I'm a member of a credit union and I really enjoy working with them. They have great customer service, okay? When you go to open that account, make sure you take all your documentation. Make it a one-trip deal. Go in there, have it all, sit down, do the paperwork. Now you got your account. Then once you have the account open, you get a debit card most likely. Be sure you protect that. Because that debit card, if it gets in someone else's hand, they could clean you out in a hurry. So you got to protect that debit card. Okay? And then Ben Franklin has this really good quote. It says, if you would be wealthy, think of savings as well as getting. Ben Franklin's a pretty sharp guy. And then here's the 2 accounts we talked about, a passbook. You know, I'm old enough to know when you used to go to the bank with your little book and they'd write things in there. They don't do that much anymore. And then your checking account. All right, folks, you have any questions for us? We'd love to answer those, whether it's on checking account, savings account, opening an account, budgeting, getting out of debt, how much to save, any of those questions or anything else on money. Here's how you can contact us. Here on Facebook, just comment on the video, Facebook Messenger. On YouTube, click on the link below, send us a note. We'll be happy to answer that. At Mach 1, you can contact us at our website. We have podcasts you can listen to at mach1financial.com or call us here at the office. We'd love to answer any of your questions. All right, stay tuned for our next lesson on investing. This is what we do for a living every day. We have lots to cover with you. So have your pencil and paper ready because you'll be loaded when we're done with that one. See you next week.